Diaz Gunners Collective. Back at it? You already know. Fitted and committed today. I said guard. I look too good forever, man. Bye. Orale, as you can tell by that thumbnail right there. Pobre, see, it just gets worse for Beza, huh? Beza. Man, what did you do, right? What kind of despicable acts and weirdo charges are you going to catch next? Hopefully none, because they keep his ass where they need to keep him. Now, one thing I will say is this. I dropped the exclusive content yesterday, the banger, and let it be known, with no hatred, no ill will, just let it be known straight up, man, that this guy was, incarcerated on some unsavory charges. Now, subsequently, since I dropped, that video, there's been a lot of changes. And me having an inside track on a few, I know a few things. I said, in the Menudo style of direct fashion, I know a few things. I got some inside information about an incident that took place yesterday. But even more than that, I wanted to kind of elaborate on what's going on with him. So this is the update. He actually caught this case and ran out there to Arizona, right? Caught a case out there in Arizona, was arrested, and was extradited to Riverside. Now, the reason he was extradited to Riverside is that's where he originally caught this case. I think he went out to Arizona to either go chase this woman that was out there, that she wiggled out there, or he was on the run. I'm not too sure on that. But one thing I do know for a fact, that he was arrested out there in Arizona and then extradited back to Riverside. Now he's done. That's a done deal. In Riverside, Baeza. Put him in PC immediately, because he don't want no smoke in Riverside County. I'm going to explain exactly what happened yesterday, right? They're not playing. Okay, they're not playing over there, man. LA County, Riverside County, any of them counties down south in Southern California, man. If you have them type of charges on your jacket, they're not even going to think twice or ask questions. They're going to get off where they're mad at. So, when I dropped this video yesterday, there was a lot of perro chatos that got at me, a lot of real righteous bulldogs. I have a lot of good homeboys that are bulldogs that I respect. I've always respected the Fresno get down. I've respected the Fresno Bulldogs get down. So they got at me. And they say, he ain't no perro chato, homie. And I said, pensa la tira, con permiso. I never said he was. All I did say was that he was affiliated or a part of Pleasant Street. Pleasant Street in the north side of Fresno are Bulldogs. How do I know? Because I did time with a lot about this from Pleasant. And Pleasant has a righteous, respectful name as far as that audio goes, that clique. Everyone I've ever met from Pleasant Street are with the business. They've been about that business. They've been about that life, for a long time. So I will never take nothing from them and put no dirt on them or no disrespect, because that's not what it's intended to do. Now, this rapper Beza was considered a pretty boy rapper. From what I've heard from Vatos from Fresno, he wasn't nada. Este was the mierda, or the gum on the bottom of my pata, right? He was nothing. Kind of had all the little young girls chasing all over him. Seems weird, huh? Young? I'm just saying, though, they're just 2 and 2 together equals 4. You know what I mean? I think it does. In a Menudo style, anyways, this guy was out there doing what he does, doing the little rap thing, and had a little fan base, right? Kind of a younger fan base. The women were on him or whatever. And then eventually he found himself affiliated with Pleasant Street and did, in fact, get put on to the Perro Chatos. Now, again, this has no reflection on that gang. There's mierda from everywhere, homes. So to sit there and ridicule and be like, you guys gotta fucking, they're everywhere, vato. You take a look at your barrio. There's out there right now, probably teleporting to the living room. It's just, there's stuff going on that we just can't talk about, right? But to sit there and act like, this is the type of characters that come from Fresno, or these are the type of characters that come from that hood or that organization, man, come on now. We can make a long list of autos that, are unsavory or uncharacteristic to our beliefs and what we believe in, So let's not even go there. But he definitely was from Pleasant Street, and is no longer embraced. He's pushed out. He's ostracized. That's it. From ever affiliating himself with the Fresno Bulldog organization. They don't want that. They don't need that. They said, no way. If he's guilty of these charges, get up out of here. Even having these charges placed on you, man, makes you look bad. It's a cold world that we live in, but people ain't even going to think twice. Look, we're all making videos about it. even having these type of charges, like I said, how did it get this far? How did it get from point A to point Z already? How were you charged with these type? And then you went into protective custody, and you said, again, you got moved on. Now let me tell you about moved on. So they transferred him to Riverside, okay, to Riverside County from Arizona. Now the way the transport went is he went on a van. But now I've been transported from state to state before. I got caught up in another state absconding his ass. They came and snatched my ass up from Washington. Get over here, right? Get over here, right? And I've been on two different types of transports. I've been on a transport where they had me with a hobbler around my leg and two state police or with the federal marshals, and they transferred me on the plane back. And by that time, the next day I was in SOS and Tracy. That's just the way it went, right? In DVI. I've went through that, and I've also went through where they went from city to city, county to county, county to county. That sucks. Anyone that has to go through that situation, that sucks because you're going to different county jails, you're getting different looks, different programs, and you never know when you're going to leave. You could be there for 24 hours, you could be there for 7 days, until eventually you end up in your destination where you're going. And that's interstate compact type stuff. That's a transport, and you just go as you go with the flow. Believe me, I've been through it. It took me a month to get from Washington to California. I was mad, I was so sad. My beard was out to here. I smelled like Forrest Gump. You know what I mean? I didn't know what I was going to get. Lieutenant Dan. I said, Lieutenant Dan. Oh, sprinkle of Woodson, brother. I was all jacked up, but I've been through it. So I could sit here and I could talk about it. Now, Beza did go on one of those transports. From what I heard, he went on a direct transport. And this is coming from someone that knows what time it is. He went on a direct transport from Arizona to Riverside County. Now, upon his arrival at Riverside County, he was put through booking. I don't know the booking situation because I've never been to that county jail, right? So I don't know if they keep people separated or they put them in the same cell. But common sense tells me when you first get there, most people are put into the same cell unless they already had this guy on high priority, meaning he's locked away in the cage. But if you're in the van, Holmes, you're just sitting right there next to a water that's doing double life or whoever knows what, right? Bad things. And then you got the vato like Beza, who's a weirdo. Right? Straight up. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it anymore. I know it's allegedly, but at this point, we're just going to go from guilty to proven innocent. It's just weird. The whole story, right? And we're going to get into the details. But anyway, so, because yesterday I couldn't elaborate because I wasn't too up on game. I just wanted to drop the spiel, with what I knew, the breaking news. But now, I've done my proper investigations. We're going to get to it. Anyway, so, from what I'm hearing is this guy gets to R&R in Riverside County, and he's in a cell and he gets moved on in the cell. He gets beat up. And that's a fact, man. This is not no made up frivolous stuff. This is what I'm hearing from someone inside there, that he got moved on as soon as he got there. And it wasn't, he didn't get moved on for his charges. He got moved on because he told him he was from Fresno. The minute he said he was from Fresno, Vatos got off on him. Now, I don't know if it was a north-south, a Bulldog South thing. I don't even, I don't know. All I know is that when he said he was from Fresno, they automatically assumed he was the enemigo, and they got off on him. Facts. So he did get moved on. Now, subsequently, since then, he has been moved to protective custody, where he was going anyways. With charges like that, you have no choice. And I explained the whole get down yesterday, man. Refer to my video yesterday. He went to PC. He went to protective custody. It's facts, right? Now, let's get down to the logistics of this case. Yesterday, I didn't want to get too detailed because I didn't know, and I don't really like to speak about certain acts and certain things. But let's really get down to what a piece of cagada Beza really is, or what they're saying he is. When you have children, you're supposed to be their protector. You're supposed to protect your kids. Okay? Usually in a lot of these cases where someone's accused of doing something with someone so young, you notice how it's usually their own children, or their nieces, or their nephews, or someone close to them. The victimization is always someone close to them. I've always wondered why that is, man. I always wonder what possesses these individuals to take it out on their own sangre, their own people. It's not a laughing matter, man. It's happened repeatedly over and over again. This guy finally got caught. Okay? The things that he done, why? It's a disease. It has to be something different in the mind. Now, I don't know for sure if this guy actually did these things they're saying he did. It could come out that he's innocent, and later on we're all going to be looking like poop butts, right? Looking dumb. But one thing is for sure is he's definitely incarcerated for it. There's definitely enough evidence to hold him. See, they do a grand jury. Let me explain something. Sit down here. Knowledge you can't get in college. For anyone who's never been incarcerated and doesn't know the get down. When you catch a charge or where something's brought up, yes, you could immediately be arrested. And that's just for safety and security. That's to prevent you from doing any harm to anyone and any harm coming to you. And you're placed in lockup. You're placed in the county jail for the time being. A grand jury convenes and agrees or decide whether they have enough evidence to hold you or no complaint you. If they have enough evidence to hold you and they feel that, yes, this guy he might be the culprit, he might be culpable in this act, he might have done this, then you will go through the motions. Of course, the bail, all that. He's sitting at $500,000 bail. That's more than a murder case, right? He's doing pretty bad. The situation doesn't look pretty, right? Of course, if you're no complaining, that means you get out. That means you get out. That means they didn't find enough evidence, or the he said, she said didn't work, and they don't have enough to hold you and see you later, say la vie, Bamanuskis, and you're gone. You know, gone. That's it. You're gone, right? You're out of here. And that's a great feeling. I've been no complaining a couple times where they said, hey, they don't got enough to hold you. I'm going right back to it, right? And that's it. Allegedly, you know, for all the haters. But, I mean, it just is what it is. But with this guy, obviously they have enough to hold him. Damaging evidence. His own child, man. His own daughter. Okay? Now, that's a situation that's, I can't even comprehend. Can't even fathom. I can't even go there, man. Being a father of 4 daughters, I don't even know what this guy's thinking, man. Sicko. Okay, that's what comes to my mind. A vulgar, just ugly individual. A weirdo, right? Now, one thing about these type of individuals in prisons, they gets no love. They gets nothing. You know, you're lucky if you get a steak tray, is it? You know, if you're on my theater, you ain't even eating that. It's just, it's the point. It's how? Why? Why would you do this? Your own child. You're supposed to be their protector. You know, when my kid says, Dad, I'm hungry, I have to get my lazy ass up and I have to go to the kitchen and make some chorizo spaghetti, right? Or I have to go over there and make a bologna sandwich. Here, that's what I used to eat in prison. But I ain't in prison, Dad. You are now, right? Eat it. There's just certain things that I have to do to take care of my child so that my child is fed, clothed, comfortable. You know, I don't like the bill at the end of the month, but I turn the heat on when it's cold in the house to break the chill. There's certain things that I do for my child I don't necessarily do for myself. You know, I'm willing to go above and beyond for my kids. You know I'm not the greatest father. I never will be. I don't think any of us are the greatest parents in the world. You can never be perfect. There's only one perfect person that ever walked this earth, and that was Jesus. Can I get an amen? Right? That's it. But in real life, you know, we try to strive to be better, to provide for our kids better. And it could be the most gangsterous dude to the most low budgetest dude. But at the end of the day, man, a real one gives what they got to their children. If there's one soap on the house, my daughter's eating it before I do. Okay, I'm gonna go hungry. I'm gonna be looking at it pretty close, like whatever she leaves, I'm smacking, right? But she's eating first. As long as she's comfortable, but we don't go that route. I mean, we stay good, allegedly, right? We're good. But you know what I'm saying? And as long as there's fustampillas in California, everyone's winning. Carne asada for everybody. But this guy, to do this to his own child, or to even be accused of doing this to your own child, man, come on now, man. You're making everyone look bad. You're making the raza look bad. The young generation, man, that's out there really doing it, man, it's like, bro, he's killing your game. He's killing your vibe. You know, I know there's guys out there like, damn, bro. You know what I mean? The Bulldog, the Federal choppers, they're like, I tell you, I tapped in with a few of them. They're like, we don't even, that vato is extradite him up to Canada, so we don't want him nowhere around Fresno, period. He's not welcomed. He's not invited. He's not embraced. If he comes to Fresno, it's going to be bad news for him. Just for even being accused of those charges. Los Hispans on la tira. They're like, perros don't play. They started barking and shit. I was like, oh, man, they're not playing, right? And then I talked to my homeboy that's down there from Riverside, and he gave me the rundown. Now, he was moved on. Okay, he wasn't injured bad. It was just a fist fight. It was 2-on-1. These are facts. You know, someone else is going to come out with the TMZ of whatever. We'll find out. That what I say is actual and factual and true, man. There's no room to lie. There's no room for added preservatives. He got moved on in the Riverside County Jail, but it wasn't that bad. And of course, he was placed in protective custody. Now I say that to say this. I'm not surprised. I'm not stressed out about it. If anything, man, that's to be expected. Now, of course, like I said, it wasn't due to his charges. It was due to him being from the city of Fresno. But keep Fresno out your mouth, Beza, if you hear this. The homies from Fresno got at me and they told me, hey, if you make a video, tell about to keep Fresno out of his mouth. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that one for you one time if you see this, Beza. They don't want you to say Fresno no more. Don't say nothing. In fact, just sit there and play Dungeons and Dragons with the other weirdos. Because motherfuckers don't need that, bro. It's whether Avato's guilty or innocent, and I don't know, man. Like I said, I've always been an advocate for innocence before guilt. I've always been an advocate, but when they got enough to really sit down, and I've talked to a few people, man, and they're like, this Vato did this, bro. You know, I know, Gun, you like to give the benefit of the doubt for the raza and all that, and black and brown and all. This Vato did this. I said, man, Spence and La Tira, how does the world come to this? Well, it came to that. And why? I've always wondered why. Do they do these things? You know, I could tell you a little story, man. And I don't want to get too graphic, and I've kind of told the story, but I'll reiterate it. Well, I was incarcerated out of state, right? And this weirdo, he actually escaped. He actually made it. He made it. He actually was working in the kitchen, and they put him on a pallet, right? And they wrapped him up with all the milk jugs, and he was able to get. They took them empty milk jugs, so they would take these big empty milk jugs, and they would ship them out. Well, they put him inside the middle of those empty milk jugs, put him around him, wrapped it up with cellophane, and shipped him out. He made it, right? We're talking about a guy who had, I think it was 2 life cases for murder as well as doing weird stuff. Right now, of course, the weird stuff was swept under the rug. No one knew this. They thought this was a solid individual, but this was not a solid individual. This guy was pudding, right? He was a Jello pudding pop, but he made it. Now, you would think most people that make it to the calles, their first instinct is to, vámonos, I'm gone. Get you a carro, and get up out of here. Canada, here, oh, Canada, oh, Canada. They're out of here, right? Toronto, I'm going to go there to a Drake concert. They're out of there. No. You want to know what this individual did? Facts. This individual went to the first apartment complex he could find. You know, I don't know the details. I didn't talk to this individual, so I just heard these stories in the oil. But I'm going to tell you. So this guy gets away, jumps out the truck or whatever, unwraps himself, and he's gone. He goes to the first apartment complex he's seen, and he sees a woman. And she has a 13-year-old son. And what does he do? He finds his way into that house. You know, I'm not going to say how he pushed himself into the house. Let's just say he found his way into this house and proceeded to tie the boy up and do bad things to his mother in front of him. Now, he gets locked back up. We're talking about a guy with double life. He walked back to the prison and sat in front of the prison. They're all point bulletin. They're looking for this guy. He's sitting right there in front of the prison. They're like, hey, you're out there drinking a Slurpee and eating a Big Bite from 7-Eleven. What's going on here? I'm ready to go back home. They lock him back up. These are facts. He ends up in the oil where I'm doing time in the oil for a fight, for an assault, right? So I can hear him on the tier talking to people. And people now know, you know, the case that he was charged with, and they're, you know, people are woofing on him. And it's just going back and forth. And I'm listening, you know, on the theater. I don't bump baking soda breath on the doors, man. I just listen, right? Keep the ears open, stay aware. And I hear his story, and he's telling this story about how he had this woman and her kid watching and all this. And this white guy says, hey, Wood, hey, listen here, brother, because he was a white guy. Why don't you just take the keys to the car and whatever money she had and get on, right? And he says, oh, she didn't have a lot of money, but she sure had a lot of fun. That will always stick with me. I was like, wow, what? That's the weird mentality that these people have. Well, that's the same type of mentality it seems Beza has, man. To do that to a child, to your own people, to your own blood, your own daughter. You know, you despicable human being. I ain't got nothing for him, man. You know, whether he's innocent or guilty, I said it, feel me, I wouldn't let it. If you want to catch the fade when you get out, man, because I called you what I called you, I don't care. Man, I'll hit you hard, right? And that's just what it is. I'm not threatening no one. I'm just saying, right there. You know what I mean? Allegedly. It's different. I don't want no smoke. You know what I mean? Unless you want it. With that being said, man, that's the update. He did get moved on to Riverside County. I guess he's all right. Because we can't win them all, right? And now he's in protective custody. Man, I'll keep you guys updated on this case because I'm taking a particular interest in this case because anyone that I feel has done this to a kid needs to be dwelled on in the lab 24/7, man. We shouldn't let up on this guy. We shouldn't let up with the pressure, man. This guy's despicable. Anyways, with that being said, I hope that you move with a purpose, get everything that you want coming to you. Remember, at the end of the day, it's all about struggling, striving, and taking care of your children. Your children. Yours. Not doing weird stuff too. Come on now, man. Stop it, right? If you like this, please hit a like and subscribe, man. If not, thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears this Oakland A's crown. Now, you know I stay fitted and committed. It's just what I does, cuz ain't nothing to it but to do it. I hope you guys all get your mind right so you can shine right. And Beza, You know, I think we got enough more to say about that guy. Bang, bang.